aitah for moving out of my dad's house and telling him I want nothing more to do with his wife. The last thing I heard before I closed the door was her voice. Calm, clipped, and poisonous. You'll regret this. You always do. And maybe I will. But at that moment, with my suitcase in one hand and my heart in pieces, I didn't care. I just wanted out. It didn't start as a war. It started as an inconvenience, or at least, that's how my dad described it when he first told me he was remarrying. You'll love her, he said, smiling the way he used to when I was a kid and he brought home surprises. She's kind, she's smart, and she makes me happy. I wanted to believe him. After all, he'd been alone for years since the divorce. My mom had moved across the country. I'd stayed with him because I thought it was the right thing to do. I wanted him to have someone to smile again. Then she moved in. And everything changed. Her name was Marissa. Perfectly polished. Always composed. The kind of woman who never raised her voice but somehow always got what she wanted. At first, I tried. I really did. I made small talk, offered to help with dinner, stayed polite even when she accidentally donated my old books or moved my things without asking. But soon the small things became patterns. If I left a dish in the sink, she told my dad I was lazy. If I came home late from class, she said I was disrespectful. If I didn't smile at her in the morning, she'd say I was cold. Little by little, she built a story where I was the problem. And my dad, the man who used to defend me against the world, started believing her. The turning point came 3 months ago. I came home one night from studying late at the library. My dad was sitting in the living room, tense, eyes cold. Marissa told me you've been taking money from her purse. The accusation hit me so hard I couldn't breathe. What? That's insane. Why would I? Don't lie to me, he interrupted. She noticed cash missing 3 times this month. You're the only one who could have done it. I stood there, shaking, humiliated. I had never stolen a thing in my life. Check my room, I said quietly. Go ahead. He didn't. He just looked away. And that was when I knew. He didn't need proof. He didn't want it. He wanted peace, even if it meant sacrificing me to get it. From that day on, I became a stranger in my own home. Marissa would smile at me sweetly when my dad was around, then whisper under her breath when he wasn't. You're ungrateful. You've always been a problem. You're the reason he's unhappy. I tried to talk to my dad. I begged him to see it, to listen, to notice how she twisted everything I said. But he just sighed and said, you need to try harder. She's doing her best to connect with you. That word, connect, burned like acid. 2 weeks ago, I found out she'd been reading my private journal. She left it open on the kitchen counter, pages folded, as if she wanted me to see she'd read every word. When I confronted her, she smiled. If you didn't want people to know your secrets, she said, you should have left it where someone could find it. It was locked in my drawer, I said through clenched teeth. Oh, she said lightly. Then maybe you should have a drawer in our house. That night, I packed my things. Not everything. Just what I could carry. I texted my dad, I'm moving out. I'll come back for the rest later. He called immediately. What's going on? Where are you? I can't live there anymore, I said. Not with her. You're overreacting, he snapped. You're being dramatic. No, I said quietly. I'm protecting myself. If you walk out that door, don't expect me to take your side. Then I guess I don't have a side anymore. And I hung up. It's been 3 weeks since I left. I'm staying with a friend, trying to rebuild some sense of peace. My dad hasn't reached out since. But Marissa has. 2 days ago, She sent me a text. You hurt your father more than you know. I hope you're proud. I didn't reply. Because for the first time, I realized her words didn't control me anymore. Sometimes I think about the house. About how every corner used to feel like home and now feels like a memory of something broken. I miss my dad. But I don't miss who he became around her. And maybe that's the saddest part of all. I didn't just lose my father to betrayal. I lost the version of him that ever believed in me. So, Reddit, aitah for moving out of my dad's house and telling him I want nothing more to do with his wife. Because I know how it looks. To outsiders, it's just family drama. To them, I'm the stubborn one who couldn't adjust. The jealous daughter who couldn't accept change. But they didn't live it. They didn't see how she manipulated, how she twisted, how she made my dad choose her version of peace over my truth. If that makes me the villain, fine. I'll take it. Because I'd rather be the villain in their story than the victim in mine. Part 2. The cost of peace. It's been 3 months since I walked out of my father's house. 3 months since I heard the sound of that door closing behind me. Soft, final, like a period at the end of a sentence I didn't want to write. At first, it was quiet. Too quiet. I told myself I loved the silence. No whispered insults, no slammed drawers, no forced family dinners where I felt like a ghost at my own table. But silence has a way of turning on you. It fills every corner, and suddenly you start hearing the echoes of things you tried to forget. I got a job at a bookstore near my campus. Small place, smells like coffee and paper dust. The owner, a man named Henry, doesn't talk much, which I appreciate. I spend hours shelving novels and pretending that other people's stories are more important than mine. It works until it doesn't. Because every night, when I walk home, I check my phone, not because I expect anything, but because hope is an addiction that doesn't die easily. Then one evening, it happens. A text from Dad. Can we talk? Just 3 words. Simple, ordinary, and yet they hit me like lightning. I don't respond right away. I stare at the message, feeling that familiar tug between anger and love, the 2 emotions that have been eating me alive since the day I left. A part of me wants to delete it, to pretend it never came. But another part, the part that still remembers Sunday mornings watching cartoons with him, or how he used to call me champ when I aced a test, that part wins. I text back, when and where? He replies within a minute. Tomorrow. Coffee shop on 8th. 5 p.m. I barely sleep that night. My mind keeps replaying the worst scenarios. What if he blames me again? What if she's there? What if this is just another trap? By the time I walk into the cafe the next day, my hands are shaking. He's already there. He looks older, not just tired, but defeated. There's a hollowness in his eyes I don't remember seeing before. You look good, he says awkwardly. I sit down. You too? A lie. But it feels easier than the truth. He takes a deep breath. I just wanted to see you. It's been hard, without you around. You could've called sooner. I know, he says, looking down at his coffee. I was hoping things would settle. That you'd come back on your own. Back to what? I ask. To being accused? To being gaslighted every day? He winces. Marissa didn't mean. I laugh, sharp and bitter. Don't make excuses for her again. He looks up, and for the first time in years, I see guilt flicker in his expression. She told me things, he says quietly. I believed them. I should have. I found out later Shed lied about a lot. I don't speak. I just watch him, waiting. She said you took money. I confronted her when I noticed inconsistencies. Turns out she was the one using my account without telling me. She said she was borrowing for household expenses. My stomach tightens. And my journal. He sighs. She admitted to reading it. Said she was trying to understand you better. I can't help it. I laugh again. But this time it's not bitter. It's hollow. Empty. So now you see it. I do, he says. And I'm sorry. Those two words hang between us, fragile, uncertain. Part of me wants to accept them, to let everything snap back into place. But the other part knows it's not that simple. Do you still live with her? I ask. He hesitates. Yes. But things are complicated. Complicated how? She's not the person I thought she was, he says. But I don't want another failed marriage. I can't go through that again. And there it is, the truth behind. He's not protecting her. He's protecting himself. So you'd rather stay miserable than admit you made a mistake. It's not that simple. It is, I say quietly. It always was. We sit in silence after that. The kind that stretches too long, the kind that feels like a decision in itself. When I leave, he stands up like he wants to hug me, but he doesn't. We both know we're not there yet. That night, he texts me again. I miss you. I stare at the message for a long time before replying. I miss who you used to be. He never responds. Weeks pass. Life moves on. Slowly, painfully, but forward. Then, one afternoon, I get another message. Not from him this time, from her. You think you've won? But you've destroyed him. No hello. No name. Just venom. I don't respond. I delete it. But somehow, it gets under my skin anyway. I can't stop wondering if she's right. Maybe I did destroy him, not with malice, but by forcing him to face the truth he never wanted to see. A month later, Dad calls again. His voice sounds smaller. She left, he says. Packed her things and moved out. I'm sorry, I say automatically. Don't be. You were right. He pauses. She told me before leaving that she only married me because she thought I was lonely. That I'd cling to anyone who pretended to care. I guess she was right about that. For a long time, neither of us says anything. Then he whispers, "Do you think you could ever forgive me?" The question sits heavy in my chest. Forgiveness. It sounds easy until you realize it means letting go of the part of you that needed justice. I don't know, I finally say. But I'm willing to try. He exhales. A sound between relief and grief. That's all I can ask. A year passes. Things aren't perfect. They never will be. But they're better. My dad and I talk sometimes. We even meet for dinner every other Sunday. He's quieter now, humbler. I can see the cracks where his pride used to live. Sometimes, I still think of her, Marissa. I wonder if she ever regrets it. But then I remind myself, some people don't feel guilt, they feel satisfaction when others suffer. And maybe that's the biggest betrayal of all, not what she did to me, but what she did to the man who loved her enough to believe every lie. If I've learned anything, it's this: betrayal doesn't end when you walk away. It echoes. It shapes you. It forces you to choose who you'll become after the fire dies down. Me. I'm still learning. Still healing. But for the first time in years, I don't wake up afraid. And that's worth everything I lost. Part 3. When the ghosts come back. It's been almost a year since Marissa left. Life has a strange way of healing. Not in straight lines, but in crooked circles. Some days I wake up light, breathing in the quiet peace of my new apartment. Other days, I wake up heavy, weighed down by the memories of words I can't take back. Dad and I were better. Not close, not like before, but steady. Like two people learning to walk again after the same car crash. We meet once a week now. He always brings flowers. Always tries too hard. Always looks like he's hoping I'll say, "It's okay now." I don't. Not yet. Forgiveness is a process, not a performance. Then one Sunday in late autumn, everything shifts again. We're at our usual diner. The smell of burnt coffee, the sound of old country music. Dad is quiet, stirring sugar into his mug even though he never drinks it sweet. You okay? I ask. He nods, then shakes his head. I got a call, he says softly. From Marissa. Just hearing her name feels like stepping into ice water. What did she want? She's not doing well, he says. She asked if I could meet her. She said she needs help. I stare at him, waiting for the punchline. You're not going, are you? I don't know. Dad, she sounded lost, he says, rubbing his temples. I can't just ignore her. I know what she did, but she's still what? The woman who tore us apart? The one who lied about me stealing from her? The one who made you hate your own daughter? His jaw tightens. People make mistakes, honey. Mistakes don't destroy families, I snap. People do. He flinches, and for a moment I hate myself for saying it. But I can't take it back. Not this time. A week passes. I try to let it go. I tell myself he won't actually meet her. That he's smarter now, that he's learned. But deep down, I know my father. He's the kind of man who believes redemption is just one apology away. And sure enough, 3 days later, I get the call. I met with her, he says quietly. She's different now. Different how? She's sick. Lost her job. Said she has no one else. I close my eyes, trying to steady the anger bubbling inside me. Dad, she had someone else. Always. You just never wanted to see it. I'm not taking her back, he says quickly. I just wanted to help. I gave her some money. My chest tightens. You what? Just enough for rent. She's struggling. I almost laugh. Because it's so predictable, it's almost tragic. She's using you again. You don't know that. Yes, I do, I whisper. Because she's done it before. For the next few weeks, I try to focus on work, on classes, on breathing. But it's useless. Every time my phone buzzes, I'm afraid it's bad news. And then, it is. Dad doesn't show up to our next dinner. No text. No call. Just silence. By the second day, I go to his house. The lights are off, the mailbox overflowing. My stomach knots as I knock on the door. No answer. Finally, I use the spare key I never returned. The air inside feels stale, untouched. Then I hear something. A soft clink from the kitchen. She's there. Marissa. Standing by the counter like she never left, pouring herself a glass of wine. Hello, sweetheart, she says, smiling. Long time no see. My throat tightens. Where's my dad? He's resting, she says lightly. He had a little fainting spell. I rush past her toward the bedroom. Dad is lying on the bed, breathing shallow but steady. There's an empty pill bottle on the nightstand, sleeping medication. What did you do? I whisper. Nothing, she says. He took too many. Stress, maybe. I called 911. You called after drinking wine? Her smile sharpens. Some habits die hard. The paramedics arrive fast. They take him away, and I follow in a daze. He survives, thank God, but the doctors say he's been under immense stress. Marissa disappears before I can confront her again. The police say there's no evidence of foul play. I tell them to check the bank records anyway. Weeks later, they find out she drained his account. Every penny. Dad's devastated. Not because of the money, but because he believed again. Watching him crumble this time is different. It's not anger I feel. It's grief. Grief for the man who keeps confusing forgiveness with weakness. He calls me from the hospital one night, voice trembling. You were right, he says. About everything. I wanted to believe she'd changed because I didn't want to admit how broken I was. Dad, she took advantage of that. But I let her. I let her because it was easier than being alone. I don't know what to say. There are no words big enough to patch that kind of hole. Weeks later, when he's home again, I visit him. The house feels emptier than ever. He sits on the porch, wrapped in a blanket, staring at the sunset. I think I finally understand, he says. Understand what? You? Leaving? I thought you betrayed me, but you were saving yourself. You were showing me what strength looks like. I sit beside him. For the first time in years, we don't argue. We just watch the sky fade from gold to gray. Do you forgive me? He asks. I already did. I say quietly. You just weren't ready to hear it. He smiles faintly. Maybe now I am. Months pass. He sells the house, moves closer to me. Starts therapy. Starts over. And me? I stop looking over my shoulder for Marissa. Because eventually, even ghosts get tired of haunting places that no longer remember them. But sometimes, late at night, I still dream of her voice. That cold, calm tone. You'll regret this. You always do. Only this time, when I wake up, I don't believe her. Because regret belongs to the ones who never changed. And I did.